Now, when you set up your MacBook Pro for the first time, a great service that you get access to at startup is something called File Vault Disk Encryption. And pretty much what that is that it secures your data by encrypting the contents of your disk and locking your screen with a password. So you can set this up at the, once you set up your computer for the first time, you're going to get presented with the screen. So, I mean, you have the options to turn it on. So, my recommendation, if you are going to be using your computer and you're going to have a lot of sensitive information, it will be great. It's great to turn this on. It's a really great feature. Now, one thing to note, you can use your existing iCloud account to unlock your disk and reset your password in case you forget it, right? And that's what I like about Apple, right? No matter, if it's the cloud or whatever, you can use the same iCloud account password to get access to everything, unlock everything. There's also iCloud Drive, which obviously, as the name states, it's you can store your documents in the cloud and access them on anytime on any of your devices, right? Any of your Apple devices, that is. Your MacBook Pro also comes with Touch ID capability, and so all that means is that you can use your fingerprint, just like on your iPhone, to unlock your computer. To configure your Touch ID, as you can see here on the touch bar, right here, it's giving you instructions to lift and rest your finger. So I'm going to use my index finger for this demo. Now, it's also a button, so don't press it too hard because you don't want to press the button. You just want to just touch your fingerprint on the surface. And when I'm done, the screen will tell me that Touch ID is ready. And we're done. And as you can see on the screen, Touch ID is ready. So now, because your MacBook Pro has the Touch ID sensor here, where it uses your fingerprint to authenticate you, you can use Apple Pay directly on your MacBook Pro as well. What you would do, you can add credit, debit, and store cards, and use Apple Pay with Touch ID to make purchases, securely and easily. And if I press continue, what you would do here is on this screen here, you would actually take pictures of your credit cards, your debt, whatever your cards are. You set them in this little screen here. So here's a bogus card. I'll put it there, let it take a picture of the card and enter all my purchase details, and it's stored. Of course, it's secure. So then when I want to use those cards online using Apple Pay, all I need to do to authenticate is use my finger on the Touch ID. Now, if you are not comfortable with using your real cards to set up the Apple Pay, you can actually enter the card details manually as well. There's an option right here for that. The new MacBook Pros come with two USB Type-C ports on either side. Here on the left hand side there are two, and on the other side there are also two, next to a 3.5mm audio jack. Now, these USB Type-C ports, they're called Thunderbolt 3 ports, and what's good about these, here's the plug, and this is what it looks like. This replaces your good old-fashioned USB 3.1 type connector, or even the USB 2, which are the bigger rectangular ones. And what's good about these ports is that you can do everything with these ports. You can charge your laptop with, because this is the plug for my power supply. Here's the power supply. And you can charge your laptop using any of these ports. You can also do data transfers via these ports. You can connect to external displays. So here's my 2013 MacBook Pro, and here's my power supply plug here, and it uses a magnet to connect to the laptop like this. Just clips into place. Now, what I loved about this model was that if I was to walk by and trip on this cable, it comes right out, right? And I don't run the risk of this falling on the floor as well, right? So I missed the magnetic type connectors of the older MacBook Pros. Now, the 13-inch model that you're looking at here has a single Thunderbolt controller. which means you can connect up to two 4K displays simultaneously or one 5K display, which is pretty cool. Now, okay, so Thunderbolt 3 ports, it's all nice and good. You get data transfer speeds of up to 40 gigabits per second. You can charge your computer. You can use this with older devices. And they talk about backwards compatibility, and that's all great. But in the real world, and this is just my personal opinion, you're going to be working somewhere in a coffee shop or at work, and somebody wants to give you a file, and they're going to give you one of these, right? They're going to give you a USB stick. There are tons of these out there today. Lots of us still use them, and you're going to be like, cool, and then you're going to be like, oh crap, where am I going to plug it in? I don't have these type of connectors anymore. I mean, honestly, Apple, I understand the Thunderbolt 3 and the integrated USB-C, all that nice stuff, everything in one port, but in real world, in today's world, lots of us still use these. So yeah, I know there's an adapter that you can use where you can plug it in, but I would love a laptop where I don't need to walk around with extra hardware. So that's one small issue I have with this. But other than that, what, if you're good using a laptop with pure Thunderbolt 3 ports, that's good for you. But for me, that's one small little thing that gets under my skin. But anyway, I digress. Now, one more thing, these ports can provide up to 100 watts of power delivery. So there's up to a maximum of 100 watts of power delivery, in this case going into the laptop. And when you're like charging bus power devices, you get about 15 watts of power when it comes to charging stuff like mini tablets or smartphones or iPhones, for example. Now, to be honest, the biggest differentiator, and I think the biggest selling point for these new line of MacBook Pros, is this the smart bar right here. I mean, the fact that it has the built-in fingerprint sensor where I can actually log in using my fingerprint is one big yes. I love that. Now, this touch bar is versatile. It pretty much is a mini tablet, tablet, to be honest. Let me show you what I mean. It can do so many different things here. So right now I have a picture here. I'm zooming in more on this because I want you to see this. But I have a couple of pictures here in a slideshow, and what you can do, you can just, select the picture in the little smart bar here, and you can just toggle through the different pictures. Now that I find is really cool. You can slide it like this, and as I said, consider this to be a mini tablet, which responds to touch. It does so many different things, and scrolling through pictures is just one small example of the power of this the smart bar. Now, for all of you Siri fans, don't worry. Siri can be accessed by the soft key on the smart bar right here. You just press that, and Siri will be there to obey your every wish and command. Siri, what's the weather like today in sunny old Toronto?
Some bad weather coming up for Toronto, Canada today. Down to -8 degrees.
I guess I have to put away the swimming trunks and wait till summer. Siri, can I get CNN, please?
Okay, searching for CNN on the App Store.
Not exactly what I wanted, but that's okay. CNN.com. And there you see, Siri is very responsive, and she moves very quickly on these sorry, I was going to say PC, my bad, on this MacBook Pro. So the fact that you can get Siri straight from the smart bar, it's a very convenient location. I love it. Now, there are tons of things that this trackpad can do. I think the easiest way to understand the trackpad, consider it to be a small 1 foot by 1/2 of an inch tablet that pretty much can, the functions change, the buttons change depending on what you're doing. So right now I'm just running a video from one of the videos from my site here, and what you can see here, there's like a little track here, a little tracker, and I can actually slide that just to simply, you know, move between along my video. I can actually fast forward by the sliding with this little slider that you see here. I can go backwards. It's so easy to move around and navigate my videos and my content, right? And there's even a built-in volume control, so I can decrease the volume. So if I just press the volume here, that little speaker turns into a volume slider. I can then slide the volume, and I can just adjust the volume, right? Really, really, really cool stuff. Now, one of the things you're going to notice is that the new MacBook Pros actually have 58% more volume. So these two little strips here, those are the speakers, stereo speakers, and Apple says that you can get 58% more volume in these MacBook Pros than in their predecessors. So let's test it out. Oh, and I think they also said you get 2.5 times more bass. So, you know, for you music lovers out there, you know, you should be able to get some pretty decent bass out of these little speaker strips here. So let's test the volume here, see how loud it goes. Not bad, huh? Not bad at all. So as I said, it's so easy to move and navigate content with this slider. So again, I would love to sit down here and show you all the different features and functionality of the Smart Bar, but it's limitless because it's pretty much a tablet, a mini tablet as far as I'm concerned. And again, the functionality changes depending on what you're doing. So in this case, I'm watching a video, so I get the slider, I get the volume controls. You know, if I was doing normal typing, I would surely get the function keys along here and the escape key. If I'm looking at pictures, as you saw, I would get like a slew of pictures here where I can easily just navigate and jump to different pictures in a slideshow. It's lovely. Now, for all you audiophiles out there, if you're asking how can Apple get, you know, 58% more power to the speakers, Apple, what they've done, they've actually connected the speakers directly to the system power, right? So for any of you electrical engineers out there, if you connect a source directly to the, if you connect a load directly to a power source, in this case with speakers, you know, you can get more volume, right? More peak power. Some other major improvements in the MacBook Pro series: the new MacBook Pros have brighter LED backlighting, and there's also a larger contrast ratio. So that pretty much means you have a larger darker or deeper blacks, brighter and whiter whites. You can really see that contrast even better between those two color palettes. And speaking of palettes, now Apple claims now that you have a more vibrant color palette. You get now, especially when it comes to the greens and reds, you get sharper greens and reds. So because you have those sharper palettes in those two color areas, you know, the pictures are more vivid and they jump right out at you, right? Now the technology that they've used is something called P3 color, and all that means is that you get 25% more colors than you would get in a standard, you know, red, green, blue palette mixture. And pretty much, you know, the reason you get more color is because you have a greater range of greens and reds, right? So more color palette, brighter LED backlight, it really makes the screen pop out. And looking at my favorite candies here, you know, they look like real candy. I mean, it looks like a real fudge cake right there. I'm getting hungry looking at the screen, actually. The new MacBook Pros come with batteries that can run up to 10 hours before charging them again. So if you love to watch your Netflix and your movies and your content, I know that 10 hours depends on, like, I'm guessing that it's based on basic usage. I have to check to see, you know, continuous movie playing, if you can get up to 10 hours. I doubt it, but improved battery nonetheless. Now when it comes to flash storage, this flash storage is 100% faster than the previous MacBook models. So when you want to download your content, like your media, like what I'm looking at here, like movies and stuff. Just remember, you can transfer, your multimedia much faster. The 13-inch MacBook Pro with Touch Bar and Touch ID comes with a 2.9 gigahertz processor, 256 gigabytes of storage. When it comes to the processor, you're talking about a dual core Intel Core i5 processor. Now there's also a turbo boost feature, so you can get up to 3.3 gigahertz clock speed on this thing. Comes with built-in 8 gigabytes of 2133 megahertz memory, and it also comes with an Intel Iris Graphics 550 built-in card. All that to say, this is great for multimedia, great for games. Hey, it has an Intel i5 chip in it, dual core, so you know it's pretty powerful. And Apple would never put anything less in something this high end. So it's a pretty powerful 13-inch and pretty expensive laptop with that as well.
Hey everybody, so I hope you enjoyed that video. Now I'm going to ask you to do two things before you leave. One, there's a button right up here on the screen to my right here. Click on that and that will take you to our website, www.redtechbot.com. When you get on that site, there will be a button there where you can actually sign up for our newsletter. And when you do sign up for our newsletter by entering in your email address, you will automatically be entered into all of our tech giveaways. And by tech giveaways, these are some typical examples of what we will be giving away, and these are some examples. There's other stuff as well. And the good news is, you just have to enter your email address once, and it will automatically be entered into the pool every time we do a draw. And we will use that email address, of course, to contact the winner, to tell them, hey, you've won something, and it's really cool. And of course, the newsletter will have updates on tech reviews, what's coming up new, what's coming up next, new stuff in the industry, and even information on future giveaways, right? So it's really nice newsletter that we're going to be sending out. And one other thing is, on this side on the screen here, up here on my left, you click on that and you will subscribe to the channel. Now by subscribing, of course, you will be at the forefront of any new things that are happening, any new videos that are coming out. And what I will also be doing is I'll be doing videos where I'll be talking about what we're going to be doing as a next giveaway, right? So you want to be subscribed, tuned in to that as well. So it's going to be a fun year and fun years to come as well. So yeah, that being said, you guys have a great day.